Dan Gingler. I'm the North Central Regional Manager for the National Fire Sprinkler Association. I'm also a 26.5-year vet of the Fire Service. I want to welcome you to the annual Pleasant Prairie Family Days. And please, from what I'm seeing all around us here, there's plenty to take advantage of as far as having fun. Do it safely and get home safely today, and follow up on some of the things we're going to talk about here. Before I go on any further, I want to recognize the Pleasant Prairie Fire Department, Chief Paul Gilbert over here, the lieutenants, Todd Blazer in the back here, the firefighters that are over here to my left. You guys are very, very fortunate here in Pleasant Prairie to have a fire department for a number of reasons. First of all, the protection that they offer to you. But you have a group of people that are dedicated to your safety. Also to the safety of themselves, so that they don't get injured trying to help you, so that ultimately we've got a massive situation. We have had about 68 catastrophic fires in the country this year. Catastrophic means where 3 or more people have died. And that's not good. In fact, that's above the pace that we've had in the past. What I want to talk to you about today is the formula it takes to be fire safe in your home and to ensure that all aspects of it are being taken care of. To start with, about 1970, 12,000 people a year and more were dying in fires in this country. And what the president did at the time, President Nixon, was create a task force to come up with why that's happening. The task force created a report that came out about 1973 called America Burning. In it, it identified 4 features in a formula that, if they're all practiced, is that we're going to have a tremendous reduction in that 12,000 people's lives being lost. Well, in about 1985, President Reagan said, you know what, we're still losing 8,000 people a year. Some of the things are working, smoke alarms, some training. We need to go further. In 2000, the Federal Emergency Management Agency decided they were going to do something too. So they had the America Burning Recommission report come out. And in all those reports, a lot of things were recommended for the country for fire safety. But it comes down to these 4 issues that I'm going to talk to you right now. The first thing is prevent the fire from happening. If you don't have a fire, you don't have to worry about the consequences, the trauma, and all of the tragedy that goes along that's associated with a fire. And how do we do that? Every room in your home and your garage and your property, the opportunities for fire exist. It can be even a number of different things. It can be candles, it can be the stove, it can be something too close to the hot water heater or to your furnace. It can be flammable stored in the wrong place, which there's a possible ignition source there. It can be matches, it can be lighters, it can be a number of things. It can be overheated circuits that cause because we got too many games tied into the television set or something to that effect. Older homes offer some problems. New homes offer problems. A brand new home is built structurally not for fire, and ultimately creates a situation for firefighters that's very, very hazardous. So what we need to do is take an inventory of our home, assess the fire potential by going through every single room. We can't have candles sitting out on the table if we've got cats or dogs in the house. They get a little rambunctious and get up on a cat on the table and knock over the candle. Fatal fires have happened that way. So you want to make sure that your candles are protected. You've got a saucer or something underneath it that the hot wax and that the flame is protected. You don't want to have newspapers close by. So that's one thing that we can do. We can hide those cigarette lighters if that's a habit that's in the house. And I think maybe you don't know, but the most often fires that kill people are caused by people not using cigarettes. So be very, very careful for that. If you are a smoker, maybe think about giving it up. We have got every room, as I mentioned, there's electrical problems that can happen in the bathroom. We got attic spaces that things can get heated up, and it doesn't take much for ignition. You're going to have a magnifying glass in the attic, and fires that started this way, and it just hits just right with the sun, and we've got ourselves a problem for fire to start. So the first element of that formula is prevention of fires. Assess that home all the time, because when you are doing fire prevention in your home, you have to do it 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. And every fourth year, you've got an extra day added in there that puts a little more pressure on you to do the job another day for 24 hours. Because it only takes a second to start a fire. And if you're not diligent at it, you're going to have yourself that opportunity to start that fire. So again, 365 days, 24 hours, fire prevention has got to be the entire family's job. If you got a young one that is under the age of 3, that there really is for fire safety up there, they're going to have to be careful, and you're going to have to eliminate the opportunities for them to start a fire accidentally. Curiosity is one form in which a lot of fires start. So now we've got ourselves attempting to keep our house fire safe. The next element we need to do is to ensure that if a fire does start, is that we have early warning. And years ago they call them smoke detectors. They also detect spiders, they detect dust, they detect a number of other things. They detect steam from a shower. So it's really a smoke alarm. The smoke alarm is designated to give you warning, to let you know that there is something in your home that's just not right. And now you have to know what to do about it. Smoke alarms don't save lives. They can't save that infant that's 18 months or younger in a crib if it's in a split-level house. They can't help that person that's an invalid that's in bed. I just heard a story last night about a person that was lost some years ago with a broken leg and they couldn't get out of the building. A pregnant person is going to have a difficult time. A senior is going to have a difficult time. So smoke alarms give you a warning. And the earliest warning you can get, the better it is for you. That's why it's paramount that you have an interconnected alarm system set up in your home. I'm not here selling alarms. I'm here trying to sell fire and life safety. If an alarm goes off in the basement because we missed something and a fire started and we've got a second story and we're sleeping on the second story and the bedrooms are up there, we won't know about it unless we have an interconnected system. Because as many of you know, is that children sleep through smoke alarms. When we have alarm go off, we want to make sure everybody knows it. So you start yelling fire, fire, and all those kinds of things to get people upwards and moving. Then we move into the third phase of the formula. That's evacuation. An evacuation plan is critical for every home to participate in. You need to have the entire family sit down. You draw a schematic of the house in 2 ways out of every room in that house. In doing so, you want to practice it. Now those of you, and I see many of you here with young children, you're going to want to take that chance to practice somewhere near the nighttime hours. Sometime like about 8 o'clock as dusk is settling in, you have the children go into the bedroom, lay down on their beds, close their eyes, give them a couple seconds, then sound the alarm. And you do it by taking a broom handle or something up, pushing the alarm button on the smoke alarm, and it will sound. Now you want the children to respond to it. And occasionally you might want to block an exit so that they have to come up with their second way to get out of the house. This is very, very important. We have had 2 of the catastrophic fires in this country in Wisconsin this year, and children have lost their lives. They did not escape. Very important again. Practice it periodically. You don't have to do it every day, but get it where the children have an understanding when that alarm sounds is that their ears are keen to that noise so that they respond to it. The second thing is make sure that they understand what the formula is to get out of the house. Now lastly, we have the protection that can be offered in a fire scenario, and that's fire sprinklers. Fire sprinklers have been around for about 130 years. Many of you don't know that. When you say sprinkler nowadays, most people are thinking of lawn sprinklers. Lawn sprinklers came around about 75 years after fire sprinklers had. They were used mostly in commercial occupancies, but they're now used in homes as well. And the fire sprinkler, only the one closest to the fire, or if the fire's in between them, will you have more than one go off. So what you see in the Chicken Little and the Casino Royale movies is that if somebody pulls the smoke alarm, that every sprinkler doesn't go off. That's a fallacy. And most people in this country believe it because they see it in commercials. There's a Dairy Queen commercial where a guy's eating the flamethrower sandwich and the sprinkler goes off and the guy ends up drinking the water out of the sprinkler because his mouth is so hot. Well, the reality is, I can guarantee you wouldn't be drinking that water. But the fact of the matter is that fire sprinklers give you the best opportunity to survive in a fire. combined with smoke alarms, you've got the best of the best opportunities to survive. What we're going to do here now is that we're going to start 2 fires, one on the left and one on the right, simultaneously. The room on the left has got automatic fire sprinkler protection. There are 2 sprinklers in that room, and we will see when we start this fire that we will hear initially at about 10 seconds, both of the smoke alarms will go off. I want you to watch for a couple very important things in here. You can hear the difference between the 2 rooms. In less than a minute, the one on the left, the smoke alarm is not going to activate anymore. If it was an interconnected system and it was a basement fire and that alarm activated and it set off the alarm to the entire house and that alarm was burned in the basement, the system shuts down. So your warning has been secured. So that's kind of an important thing to remember. At about 50 seconds or so, and that's why we got the clock there so you can kind of watch this. At about 50 seconds, one sprinkler will go off in the room on the left. Now, there's nobody here with a valve on it. There's nobody here to set that off. It just happens because the filament in there reached a point where it's about 155 degrees, and that breaks the bulb and lets the water flow out of the sprinkler. There's one other thing I want you to watch for, and that's in this room on your right, my right, is that all of a sudden it looked like there's steam coming up off the couch and off of the chair. That's not steam. The fire's gotten to the point that it's heated that piece of furniture to the point it's going to reach its ignition temperature, and ultimately when that flame or those fumes come up, they're toxic, they're very gaseous, and they're very flammable. And you will see what's called flashover. Flashovers happens in a room. No one can survive that fire. At that time, the firefighters will knock it down, and our demonstration will be pretty much over, with the exception of looking for that other sprinkler that did not activate, just to prove that point. Now, I just want to tell you, the only thing we've done here is that we've got a hole in the back. We're starting a fire in paper baskets. It's going to get to the couch, to the curtains, and then you'll see what happens from there. The one thing, the only accelerant we're using in this room is the same accelerant you have in every one of your homes. If you look at what is the material that's made out of those couches in those rooms, you're paying $2.98 a gallon at the pump for it. It's a petroleum-based product. It will burn like gasoline. Years ago, you didn't have that kind of fuel in your home. Now we do. And that's why having fire sprinklers is all that much more important. So if I can get the fellows in the back to start the fires, please. It doesn't take long once you understand what is safe. Get through your house and get it going. Okay, we've got the smoke alarms going off in both rooms. And we got a fire rapidly growing on our right side. Okay, the sprinkler has gone off on our left side on the demonstration unit already. And it will keep that fire from growing. It also means that there will be less toxic fumes and gases that can cripple or kill someone. What you're seeing for the most part on the left side is the element of steam that's coming from the heat and the sprinklers. On the right side, you can see the steam coming on the couch now, as I mentioned to you. We're at flashover in just a couple of seconds. And when it happens, you're going to see fire blow up. See, there you got your flashover, and it is now going to come flying out of that room at a... Yeah, you people on the right side here may want to take off. It's going to get above you in a second. This whole... Okay, guys, hit it. Flashover normally occurs in about 4 minutes. When your smoke alarm sounds, you've got less than 2 minutes to get out of your house. As you can see there, the amount of radiant heat, and some of you may have felt some of the heat, but the amount of heat that you have in there, the opportunity is there for it to go to other levels in the house. And I'm not sure if anybody's ever been in a fire or witnessed a fire. I imagine you've seen it on TV. It happens very, very quickly. And in most cases, you don't have a lot of time to get out. You certainly don't have time to go get the cat, to go get some valuables that you have in your home. Get out and stay out. Find a location outside of the home, get together, ensure that somebody has called 911 so that the situation can be taken care of. Now, I'll be around afterwards if anybody has any questions about it. We can secure the sprinkler line there. Okay, there's a unit. See up on the ceiling here? Can you see a red tube in there? Okay, that means that that one didn't activate. The one in the back does not have that, and that's where the water came from. Okay? Thank you. Just to show you that from the movies, that they don't all go off, we just proved that it doesn't happen. Thank you again. Enjoy your day, and congratulations to Pleasant Prairie for such a wonderful event.